California morning. Gringo Papi hit 1 million, son.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he's thinking about the 1,000,000 views here? Or the 1.1 rating? I think he's thinking about the 1.1 rating. If you don't know who Brendan Schaub is, he's the epitome of infamy in the world of comedy. And while his last comedy special got over 1 million views on YouTube, it also got a 1.1 out of 10 on IMDb. So he figures this is a good time to celebrate by taking his 12-man crew to his favorite Italian restaurant. Alright, so what we are looking at today is some stats for the channel Thick Boy here, which is, of course, Brendan Schaub's posse. And if we look at some of the income numbers, you know, you got $584 last week, okay. If you quadruple that amount of time, though, more than quadruple that amount of time, you're only getting, you know, about double the income. So it's like, okay, it's not quite consistent. However, the Gringo Papi, the classic comedic special, the comedy special that will never be forgotten, that brought in 1.1 million views, and I believe, I'm not entirely sure how these stats are laid out. This is my first time kind of taking a look at this. Let me know if I'm wrong on this. But I believe that because the Gringo Papi was uploaded about, I think it was 31 or 32 days ago. So I think it's going to fall into this bracket in the last 90 days. So that's why we see a little bit of a bigger number here. So, you know, you might look at these numbers and say like, all right, you know, he's making a couple grand here and there. But Thick Boy is a group of 12 people. A very important piece to all of this is how Brendan pays out of pocket for his own promotion and production, etc. And if that's the case, which he definitely says is the case, then these numbers are far worse than they look on the surface. So yeah, with the entire group being considered, this is what I would call poverty numbers. Yeah. Oh, and of course, we cannot forget the similar YouTubers to Thick Boy, and we have these beautiful, very similar looking young children to Brendan Schaub, so that's nice, and they're really killing it subscriber-wise. I mean, Thick Boy, like, you got some serious competition here. Alright, between that kid. Yeah, you got a lot of catching up to do. So you might be wondering, how can Brendan Schaub afford to take all of his employees out to a fancy Italian dinner? The answer is, he really can't, if you're thinking long term here. I mean, this is not a very cheap restaurant, and 12 people, that's a lot of people on your team you're taking out to dinner. You know, you got a $70 T-bone here, and that was the item that Brendan Schaub talked up the most. He says it's the best steak in all of LA.
They have the best T-bone in LA, dude.
I don't know if that's true. I've never even been to LA, but, you know, $70 for a T-bone steak. You know, in my mind, I'm thinking I paid $60 for Elden Ring, and I got hundreds of hours out of that. You know, this T-bone steak, it's going to keep me entertained, you know. Only for a little bit. Sure, it's going to taste good. It's going to fill me up. It's going to be a good slab of protein. But, you know, that Elden Ring. Look what we got here. If you're looking at the pasta, he says the pasta's killer.
Pasta, obviously ridiculous.
Okay. This immediately, the first pasta item on the list, we have meat sauce. Okay? Meat sauce. This is something where you would hope to see meatball, maybe some kind of Italian sausage, maybe if you're getting like a carbonara, you want to see like a specific kind of bacon they're using there. The kind of word usage you don't want to see is meat sauce. Meat sauce. That's like ragu you get from the grocery store. This is like Chef Boyardee. That's what my mind goes to. It might be a decent dish, but I mean, come on. Meat sauce, $21. You're gonna try to sell me that bill of goods? Come on. Come on. Of course this would be Brendan's favorite place. So if you think about how much money they're spending, and this is a celebration, and it's all on Schaub, so these people are probably going to be going all out, getting drinks, getting big stuff, you know? And even with that, I'll be lenient. We'll call that $60 a person with tip and everything. And that's very lenient considering that Brendan Schaub probably went for the T-bone, a couple drinks. He probably spent $100 alone. So $60 a person is very lenient, that's very generous. Let's plug in some numbers and see what we get here. Okay, so we got 60 times 12, which is Brendan Schaub's group. It might be 13 if he wasn't including himself. I think he was including himself. So we got 720, which, you know, not the worst for feeding 12 people at a very nice Italian restaurant. So if we take the 720 and divide it by this 6,000 figure here, he just spent more than 10% of the last 90 days of YouTube revenue on a night out at an Italian restaurant with the boys. More than 10% you spent in one night. You can't keep that up. It's not sustainable. I know you got the tickets, but how do you really think these tickets are going to keep selling if you keep getting 1.7s, 1.1s? What is this next tour going to get if there's a special for it, if it's recorded and put on IMDb? We're going to see 0.8? You say you're getting better and better. Better and better.
It just gets better and better and better, and that's the way we're going to do it.
I don't know about that. I have some serious doubts about the better and better and better claim from Brendan Schaub. I don't have much faith in his material.
What do you think I'll be in 5 years? What do you think I'll be in 10 years?
I'm sorry, I don't. I know that might be a controversial take. I know that, you know, he's beloved. He's the Gringo Papi after all. But, I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is child's play. Child's play.
Scopa was like our cheers. Me, Brian, Sasso, Dalia, like that was our cheers, man. Dalia.